Hey guys, welcome to another active stretch and recovery with core moves. So today we're doing Pilates. It's a really nice flow and stretch class, so I think you'll enjoy it. There's not really any strong abdominal exercises in it, but of course, as always, we want to think about our pelvic placement and our spine alignment, and we want to engage our core. So we want to have that pelvic floor lifted, the tummy always pulled towards the spine, and just being aware of whether you're in your imprint or neutral. So whether you have that lordotic curve, that nice natural curve in the lower spine, or whether you're trying to brace that or push it into the floor or tuck the tail under. Okay, so we're going to start straight away on our hands and knees. And we're going to stack our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. And we're just going to start with warming up the spine with our breath. So make sure your body's relaxed in a neutral position. And then you're going to feel like you pull your heart through your shoulders, lifting up through the upper thoracic spine, stretching all the front of the intercostal muscles, and then tilting the pelvis forward into your cow. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your tail under, begin to scoop the abdominals, and push everything in towards the midline of your body. Inhale, lengthening out again into that cow position. Exhaling, scooping everything back in, arching the back into your angry cat. I don't like calling it an angry cat. One more time. Inhale, lengthen the whole body forward. Exhale, scooping it all in. And then maintaining that scoop, bring the toes together, look towards your toes, and then push your heels, your hips back onto your heels, and then lengthen the spine and stretch out. Look forward towards your hands in your child's pose, so your extended child's pose. Then we're going to use our exhale breath, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward, and lengthen to that long line. Exhale, round, scoop the abs, push the hips back to the heels, look to the hands. Inhale, lengthen, pull the body forward, come to that long line using your glutes. Exhale, push into the floor, round the spine, bring the hips back to the heels, and then lengthen. So you're creating this sort of serpent movement in the body. Inhale, pushing forward and extending. Exhale, pushing into the floor, rounding. Bringing those hips back to the heels and then lengthening back to that long line. One more time. Inhale to go forward. Exhale, push into the floor. Round the spine, scoop the abs, bring the hips back to the heels and then lengthen back to neutral. From here, you're going to bring yourself back onto your 4-point kneeling. Curl those toes under and push yourself back into your downward dog. We're going to move straight away in our down dog into a flow. So we're going to take that same movement. Inhaling, extending the spine and coming into a plank. Exhale, push round the spine and come back into your downward dog in your long spine. Inhale, pull yourself forward into a long plank or slightly extended plank. Exhale, push into the floor, round through the spine, and then lengthen back to your down dog. So we're pulling the body forward, exhaling, pushing, and rounding to get the spine back. One more time for me. Pull the body forward, use the shoulders. Exhale, push, round, and send the body back. And then come into your plank. We're going to drop our right knee down and then put the right hand in the middle of the mat and bring the right foot back behind us and then open the body up to a side pose. Just stay here for a minute. And then reach the arm overhead, and then sweep the arm in a circle. 1, 2, 3, and then bring the hand down, the knee down, bring the foot back in line, and this time bring your left hand into the middle of the mat, and then pull the left foot back, extend the right leg out, open up to the other side of your mat, reach the arm overhead, and then circles. 1, using your breath. 2, squeezing the glutes. 3, reach. And then turn back to the mat, both hands under chest, both knees back underneath the body. And then from here, we're going to push the knees back again. And then forward. Inhale back this time. Exhale forward. One more time. Inhale back. Exhale forward. And then push yourself back onto your 4-point kneeling. Walk your hands towards your knees and come up so that you're nice and tall on your knees. Now from here, we're just going to sweep the hands up to shoulder height and then just keep the rib cage down as you reach them overhead. Turn the palms forward and do 2 big arm circles for me, keeping your torso as still as possible. You're engaging your glutes to keep you propped up perfectly on those knees as you complete those circles. Then we're going to bring the hands so the palms face each other at shoulder height. And you're just going to hinge back. Now if you feel uncomfortable in your knees, then get yourself a towel and just prop them under your knees because we're going to do a lot on our knees today. Again, inhale to hinge back, keeping that long line from the shoulder to the knees. Exhale to bring yourself up. And you can lower your hands when you come up if you want, or you can keep them at that shoulder height. Inhale to hinge, stretching the quads. Exhale, coming back up. Keep the glutes connected. Keep the quads stretching and lengthening. Lift through your pelvic floor. Keep your rib cage down. Inhale, hinge. Exhale to come back up. Do one more hinge for me. Inhale to hinge back. Stretching out those quads, squeezing the glutes. Exhale to come back to kneeling. Now from there, we're going to step our right foot forward into our low lunge. So step that foot forward, make sure you're nice and comfortable on that back leg. And then we're going to squeeze that left glute and just push our hips forward a little bit, stretching that deep hip flexor on the left side. So just stay there for a couple of breaths, inhaling, and as you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And you can have your hands on your front knee to support yourself, but make sure you're pulling that navel towards the spine so you're not arching the back. We're trying to keep ourselves upright and neutral. And then on your next exhale, push into that front leg, kick the toe towards the ceiling, and just sit yourself back. Hands come to the floor into your hamstring stretch. And if it feels good for you, you can come into a bit of a forward fold. You can even sit all the way down onto your heel if you have that flexibility. And just stay and breathe. Try and keep your shoulders square with your hips. And then if you're in that deep stretch, bring yourself back up onto your hands, back into your lunge, and then push yourself back, step that knee back in line with the other one, sweep the hands towards the knees, and lift the body up using your glutes. Let's get those glutes engaged again, hands facing each other. Inhale, stretch the quads. Exhale to come back up. Inhale, shoulders are away from the ears, rib cage is connected, and lean it back. And pull it in. So you get a lot of core work in these leans as you're staying in that nice neutral position. And you might be able to come back really far, or you might struggle with that. You might even decide you need to bring your hand, you want that stretch, but maybe bring your hands down and then push yourself back up, but keep that core engaged. Let's do one more. And exhale to come up. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step the left foot forward this time. Lengthen the body up. You might need to keep your hands down, and that's okay, but try and keep the spine nice and long. Okay, we're going to move into that forward deep lunge stretch again. So squeezing that back glute on the right side as you lunge forward. And if you're up, you can prop your hands on your knees. You can stretch your arms overhead. You can hold your arms in front of your chest, or you can open to the side. So take an option that works for your body. In that deep stretch, take one more breath there, and then on your exhale, push yourself back, kick the toe to the ceiling, and stretch out that hamstring. Nice deep stretch there, and if it's for you, you can sit all the way back on the heel, and you can come into more of a forward fold over that left knee, stretching the hamstring a little bit deeper. And then take another inhale. As you exhale, lift your body back up to that lunge. And then pull that foot back in line with the other one. Let's do one cat-cow. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Lift the heart forward. Exhale, scoop the abs. Tuck the tail in. And then bring the hands to the knees. Push yourself up with your glutes. Lengthen up. Hands in front of the chest. Palms facing each other. Quad stretch. Lean it back and forward. So you use your breath. Maybe you're going to pause on that hinge. Maybe you're just going to keep flowing with it. That's up to you. It's your Pilates today. I'm not going to judge. I can't see you anyway. And with your breath, maybe keep your hands forward the whole time. Maybe you drop them as you come up. That's also up to you. Maybe you're just staying nice and still. Last one for me. And back up, and then roll the spine down, scooping the abdominals, sliding your hands down your shins without leaning back. And then walk your hands forward onto your 4-point kneeling. We are going to, on our 4-point kneeling, we're going to pull our right knee into our nose. So we're not going to come out to the plank for this. We're going to stay on our hands and knees. And then you're going to round through the spine, float your right knee in. So keep that toe connected to the ground and slide the knee in. And then, keeping the foot light, slide it back and lengthen the spine. Exhaling to pull it in, holding it there. Inhale to lengthen back to your neutral. So you're keeping those shoulders really nice and connected here, hugging the wall of the spine, and send it back. Spreading those fingers nice and wide, pulling it in, and lengthening away. So you can see we're getting a lot of flow and articulation in the spine today, rounding in that angry cat, knee in, and slide that knee away. Now stay in your neutral, and we're going to keep pushing those hands into the floor, and then float that right leg out to the side, like you're a dog on a hydrant. And then you're going to straighten that leg, pull it back in, and flex it back into the side. So we're staying just on that right side. Open the hip, extend the leg, bend the knee, pull it in. Use the midline of the body. Don't collapse over to that left side. Keep breathing and connecting the pelvic floor. Keep connecting the shoulders and having the body really nice and square and strong as you move through your hydrant to develop a and back in. Open. Reach, bend it in, and close the knees. Open the knees up just a little bit, close the toes together, push your hips back onto your heels, and come into a nice extended child's pose, looking towards your hands, and then curl the tail under, scoop the abs, keep the hands down, and move into your shell stretch or your turtle pose. You can close the knees in this position. Feeling that deep stretch down the back. And then you're going to reach those hands forward again, look towards the hands, use your glutes, squeeze and push yourself back up to your 4-point kneeling. If you've connected the knees, separate them back to hip distance. And we're going to do the knee to nose on the left side. So hands are strong into the floor, spine is in neutral. We're going to just float that left knee off the mat. And then pushing into the floor, rounding the spine, using the belly to pull that knee in towards the nose. And then inhale, softly send it away and lengthen the spine. Exhale, flexing, curling, pulling the ribs towards the hips. Inhale, lengthening the spine back out to that nice long neutral line. Exhaling, scooping and rounding and pushing into the floor. Inhaling, lengthen and extend. So you should find this engagement in your right hip, your right glute, especially as you pull that left knee into your nose. And then lengthen back, release the glute a little bit into the long line. Now we're going to do those hydrants on the left side. So hands are strong, open the left leg out to the side, and then reach the leg into extension. Keep the weight perpendicular on that right leg. Bend the knee in and close the hydrant. Inhale to open. Exhale to extend. Keep pushing those hands into the floor. Inhale to pull the knee in. Exhaling to bring the hydrant closed. Inhale, open. Reach. Keep that belly button pulled towards the navel the whole time. Closing it in. This is about creating strength and support in your body. Creating that nice, strong upper quadrant. Pulling it in. One more time for me. Lift it up. Reach and extend. Finding that glute. Pulling it back in and closing it with the inner thighs. And this time keep those knees connected. Push your hips back onto your heels. Stretch the hands forward. Look towards those hands. And then your turtle stretch or your shell stretch. And you can lower your elbows if you want with this one, or keep the body up high. That's up to you. Just stay and breathe with it. Feeling the rib cage expand with every inhale and contract with every exhale. And then look towards those hands again. Extend the spine. Push the body forward. Open the feet up to hip distance. Curl the toes under. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders and push yourself back into your down dog. Just stay in this down dog for a minute. Maybe lift your heels and lower them. Just feel that nice deep stretch, stretching the chest underneath the armpits. Try to make your armpits wink at your knees almost. You want to, or blink at your knees. And then we're going to move through those rolling down dogs again. So this time we're going to do it the opposite way. So you're going to push in your down dog, rounding and then lengthening to your plank. And then push yourself back from the hips up to that extended long line. Pull the belly button towards the pubic bone and the ribs towards, so you get in this nice flexed position. Then lengthen to that plank. And then send the sit bones up, stretching the chest, stretching the back. So tuck the tail under, scoop the abs, push into the floor, round the spine, and then unravel to your plank. And then send the sit bones up, stick your tail out, arch the lower back, arch the chest, and push into the shoulders. Scoop and round, carrying yourself forward with your glutes, lengthen to your long line. Last one, send those hips up. Nice deep extension into your down dog, and then just relax into your normal down dog and stay there for 3 deep breaths. And once you've finished your 3rd breath, soften the knees and just walk your feet towards your hands. Keeping your feet hip distance, come into a forward fold. And then bend your knees, dropping your hips towards your heels and lifting the chest. Exhale, push into the feet, come into that forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, lift the head. Exhale, belly stays close to the thighs as you try and come in these forward folds. And then inhale, so we're stretching out the back of the hamstrings, stretching out the spine, energy through the legs. Inhale. One more time for me. Exhale. And then just release the hands. Maybe fold them into the elbows. Come into that deep forward fold. And just stay and breathe and relax. And take one more inhale. On your exhale, release your hands, roll the body up sequentially, 1 vertebrae at a time, lengthen all the way up, and then nod your chin on your exhale and roll all the way down sequentially through the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time, hands to the floor, bend those knees, hips come back to the heels, and this time just bring your hands behind you, and we're going to lie down on our back. So coming comfortably onto your spine with onto your back with your spine in neutral. You're going to separate your feet so they come to the outside edges of your mat and have a slight turn out in the toes. So let it be natural. Your knees go out, your toes go out, and you're going to open your arms out to cactus pose and just gently rock your knees side to side, allowing that hip to lift a little bit, but keeping the shoulders down. And just keep Letting that nice gentle movement happen in the spine as you rock side to side. Just releasing that sacroiliac joint. This is a really nice thing to do when you first wake up in the morning with the legs nice and wide. And then we're going to finish on the left side and just roll all the way over onto our left side. And keeping those knees bent, you can cradle your head into your arm. You can have your arm long. You can even be up on your elbow if that feels good for you. And the knees are bent in a nice soft long bend. And we're just going to open the hip using the muscles around the side of the hip. And then we're going to close the hip but lift the knee. Open the knee, close the toes, close the knees, separate the toes. So keep this bottom waistline lifted, and we're just working on this rotation through the hip joint, okay? So keeping the whole body connected and long, open the knees, lift the foot, use the inner thigh to close the knees back in. One more time, open, rotate, and close. And then drop the foot, push yourself up, and flip yourself over onto the other side. So it's just warming up the hip and a little bit of lateral and medial rotation. So bend those knees, set your body up nice and long and comfortable, long through the waistline. And then when you're ready, you open the hip, finding that connection in the glutes to laterally rotate. And then you're going to lift the toe as you medially rotate or turn the knee inward, the inner thigh inward, and tap them together. Open and close. Keep the belly button pulled towards the spine, lifting the pelvic floor. Open, rotate in, close using that inner thigh. One last one for me. Lift it up and open and rotate and close it in, and then close the feet together, and we're just going to roll over onto our back. So just all the way over and back. I prefer to face this direction. Get your spine nice and long, your legs are long. Just relax your hands by your sides. And we're just going to keep that rotation in mind, lying long on the mat here. So flex your toes towards your face. And then you're going to spin the thighs out, squeeze the glutes, and come into that lateral rotation. And then inhale, pull those inner thighs in and squeeze the knees, squeeze the toes. Exhale, lateral rotation, or coming into your first position with your feet. Exhaling, rotating back in. One more time for me. Inhale, reaching up, and exhaling, closing it back in, and then release to neutral. We're going to hug our right knee into our chest. Just a nice release there. And then clasp the hands behind the knee. Flex the toes towards your face, and reach your heel up towards the sky for 3. Bend it in. Reach it up for 2. And bend it in. So just stretching out that hamstring again. Reach it up, and then this time, if you can grab your toe, great. If not, just hold on to the leg. Reach your right arm out to the side, and you're just going to use the inner thigh to pull that right leg over the midline of the body. So you're pulling your toes towards your left shoulder. And then into center. Open the left hand and open the leg out to the right side and just stretch that inner thigh. Use the belly to keep that hip down. And then close it in. Bend the knee and send it away. And hug the left knee in. Just give it a little hug for a minute. Then slide those hands onto the back of the knee. Flex the toes towards the face. Keep that right leg grounded into the mat. And exhale, push the heel into the ceiling for 1. Inhale to bend. Don't forget about what your pelvis and your lower back are doing as you move through these hamstring extensions. Remember, we want to be in neutral. Our rib cage is down towards those hips. Our pelvic floor is gently lifted, and this time we're going to keep it extended up there. And you're just going to grab onto whatever point of your leg you can reach. It may be your toes. Reach that left arm out to the side and cross that right leg over the midline of the body, getting this nice deep stretch through the hip. And you're not coming super low. You might be able to come super low, especially if your hand is up towards your thigh. Okay, and then open it out to the other side, just stretching deeply through that hip. And then back into center and lower that leg down. Now we're going to bend both knees in and fold them into our chest and grab onto the back of the knees. You're going to use some momentum together with your abdominals to roll yourself up to seated. So you're going to lift the toes up to the sky, nod your chin, flex the spine forward, and pull yourself forward, and then sit up tall. We're going to do 2 rolling like a ball. So we're going to sit up tall, point the toes, and if this is for you just balancing here, then stay there. Or if you don't feel like rolling like a ball, you don't want to massage the spine today, then just stay here. Otherwise, you're going to float those feet up and bring the weight behind the sit bones. Tuck the tail in and lead with your belly, pulling your belly towards the spine. You're going to inhale, roll back onto the top of the shoulders. Exhale, your nose chases your knees to come back up and then lengthen. Inhale, scoop, roll it back, nose to knees, and lengthen. One more time. Cross it down and back. So we roll it down and lengthen. And then once you've come up to the top, let's just cross our ankles over, put our feet onto the mat, round through the spine and come into a forward fold. Then from here, lift the spine up. Your hands are going to come in with next to your feet, and you're going to try and straighten your legs to come up to standing, and then uncross the ankles and come into a forward fold. From here, inhaling, bend your knees, hands come to the floor, step yourself back into a plank, and then through to your downward dog. So we're going to roll through our down dogs again. So the same as the first time, we're going to start with extending. So reach the head, push the chest forward through the shoulders with the back nice and long, coming into your up dog position. Then push into the shoulders, round through the spine, scoop the abdominals, and lengthen back into your down dog. Do one more that direction for me. So pulling the chest forward, shining the heart forward, coming to that long line, and then a little bit of extension. Exhaling, pushing into the floor, nodding the chin, scooping the abs, lifting the hips, and then finishing on the long line. This time we're going to do it rounded. So round the spine, scoop the abs, squeeze the glutes, bring yourself to your long plank line, and then push the hips up, extend the spine, reach and push the chest towards the heels. Scoop the abs, round through the spine, bringing yourself forward, lengthen the back of the neck, and then push the hips up, release, extend into that down dog. Just stay here for one full deep inhale and exhale for me. And on your next inhale, bend your knees, look towards your hands, and walk your body forward into your forward fold. Just stay in your forward fold here, however feels comfortable for you. Maybe fold the hands into the elbows and let the head be heavy. And breathe. And just be aware of the weight on your feet. Are you over your toes? Are you on your heels? Be aware of your spine lengthening, coming into this sort of traction. And then on your next inhale, release the arms. And on your exhale, begin to sequentially stack the spine, one vertebrae at a time, lengthening all the way up to standing. We're going to roll down again, but we're going to roll down one side of the body. So standing tall, you're just going to turn your head towards the left side. Then you're going to nod your chin. And you're going to begin to roll down, thinking about bringing your head towards that left toe the whole time. So your left hand is staying close to your left thigh. Your right hand is away from the body. You should feel this really nice stretch down that right side of the body as you come into that fold. Inhale and then exhale, lengthen back up, staying over that left side, sequentially stacking the spine. Enjoying that deep stretch, and then lengthening the head up, still looking left, and then turn into center. Nod the chin, let's do that through the center of the body. Rolling the spine down, one vertebrae at a time, really enjoying that release between every vertebrae. And remember, these are your roll downs, so if you feel like you're stuck anywhere in your spine, inhale at the bottom, exhale to roll back up. Then just pause, inhale, and then on your exhale, roll through it. Stacking the vertebrae one at a time on top of each other, like Jenga. And lengthen up, and this time turn the head to the right side and roll down on the exhale, keeping the gaze to the right, keeping that left shoulder reaching towards the right, really enjoying that deep stretch down the left side of the body. And then inhale at the bottom, exhale, stack the spine back up, one vertebrae at a time. Squeeze the glutes, lengthen up all the way up. Turn back to center one last time for me, roll down through the center. And we're just gonna stay in that roll down. You can clasp your hands into your elbows or you can leave them heavy and just gently sway the hips to the right side, the arms to the left, and then the left hips to the left side, the right hands to the right, and then just make it soft and fluid and just sway side to side. Releasing any tension in the back, keeping the knees soft. And then when you're ready, still the body in the middle. And then using your exhale breath, roll the spine back up, stack the weight over the ankles, the ribs over the hips, the shoulders over the hips, and the head over the shoulders. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really love that little flow. Really great way to just mobilize the spine, a little bit of work mobilizing the hips, and not too much work on the abs of the shoulders, just focusing on that stability. So thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you again tomorrow.